public hearing notice was, 1 second. We're going to do Chamberlain Street first.
Whatever you'd like.
Ah, chairman's prerogative. I like that. Okay. The Hopkinton Board of Appeals will hold a public service. For additional information, please email the ZBA at hopkintonma.gov, call the Department of Land Use Planning and Permitting at 508-497-9745, or check the online meeting calendar and agenda for the meeting at hopkintonma.gov. This legal notice is also posted on Massachusetts Newspapers Public Association, MNPA website at masspublicnotices.org. John Catino, Chair and Clerk, regarding 25012. Okay. So, is Roy and Joanne, are you here representing yourself, or do you have counsel?
We are representing ourselves.
Wonderful. Could you tell us what you want to do?
So we'd like to add a garage onto the house. Right now, the house was built in 1964, so the house is 40 feet from the street. We'd like to put the garage even with the house as far as the distance from the street. It's all the houses were pretty much built at the same time on the street, so they're all about the same distance. They all have garages, and they're all even with the house. So aesthetically, it would be consistent with the other houses on the street.
Okay. I'm just trying to bring up your stuff right now. Do we have, is Mike here or Chris? Or who's here from?
You have yourself, Arnold, myself, Sean, Dan, and James. I don't see anybody else, but maybe I'm missing somebody. Is anybody else here that I didn't see? So you have James, Arnold, myself, and you are full-time in, so you have Dan or Sean. Is that correct?
Okay, so Dan, do you want Dan? You try and skirt out of all of these. Let's see. Let's bring you in on one of these now. You try and have it easy all the time, just from the gallery seats.
Yeah, no problem. All right,
you're in. Okay, because we have one lawyer, so we can use Sean for another one. Okay.
Sorry, Sean.
Mike, you're here today. Can you bring us the inspection services point of view on this?
Good evening, Mr. Catino. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. So I just want to make sure that I have the right plan in my packet here. It looks to me like the applicant, Roy and Joanne Rector, 19 Chamberlain Street, they're proposing to put a 2-story garage, and then the proposed structure appears to me that it's 50 foot 1 inch from Chamberlain Street.
No, that we had sent in another plan. The architect had drawn up 2. And the plan that we had sent in today after being notified was 40 feet. And
Okay.
it's a 1-story.
Okay, so there's a difference in my plan, but if it's 40 feet, then obviously we're the same intention is here. The frontage in the RB zone is the front setback's 50 feet, and you're going to need relief. So the plan that I have is incorrect, but I can see what you're trying to do here, and it's pretty straightforward. It looks like the house has 41 feet 9 inches. Is that correct?
Yes.
Charlie?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, and the other side of the house, your setback's like 43 feet 1 inch. You got plenty of room on that side.
Yes. Yep.
Is it doesn't show the driveway on this plan, but is that is the entrance to the house and the driveway is that part of the plan to come in on that side of the house?
The driveway is already pretty much in front of the proposed garage.
Okay,
So it would just come back from the driveway as it is now.
okay. It looks like he's all set with his lot coverage and pretty straightforward in my eyes. So I turn it back over to the chair. Thank you.
Excellent. So, and so basically what you're telling me is inspectional services really has no objections to this. Other than the numbers themselves.
I'm sorry, John, you cut out for a minute.
I
Yeah,
said
like every other word.
inspectional services has really no objections other than the exact numbers themselves.
That's correct.
Great. That makes this a lot easier, because if you said there was some wires or trees or and then we can find out if there are any abutters or anything else that may be objecting. Okay, great. So that makes it a lot easier for us. Thank you very much. Okay, are there any questions from any of the members to either inspectional services, Mike or the applicant?
Mr. Chair, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
One question is the current plan increasing the nonconformity as far as the setbacks go, the two setbacks that are nonconforming with the present zoning law?
It wouldn't.
Well, actually, Arnold, the way that I see it, because of the angle of the house where it's 41 on the corner where they're starting it, and 43 the other, they probably will be increasing the nonconformity by about 12 inches, 11 inches, if I'm just doing the math in my head correctly. But I think that's de minimis.
Is that what Mike, do you agree with that?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So the plan that I have, it appears to be 41 foot 9 inches. I do not have a dimension on the other side, but we have a setback in the RB district of 50 feet. So essentially he'd be a better part of 8 foot 3 inches in non-conforming state.
So I asked whether I'm just curious whether what he's doing increases the nonconformity that might have existed before.
It increases it because he doesn't have the conformity of the main house.
So the main house is already not conforming, and then considering that this is going to be a garage that sticks out from that side, and considering that the angle of the house is not exactly parallel to the road, that it will increase the nonconformity by somewhere in the range of a foot. And that's just and I'm doing with just my mechanical engineering acumen.
Well,
There is no dimension there.
John, can you? Nobody can hear you.
Oh,
I can hear him.
Oh, you can? Oh, I'm not hearing him. He just kind of.
He just said it's going to increase the nonconformity because he's building a structure that's 40 feet away as opposed to the 50-foot setback now. So we're just, in his application, that's what he applied for the 10-foot relief, 10 feet of relief. So that's what he's asked for, is a 10-foot of relief. So yes, it will increase the nonconformity in the lot based on the size of that structure that he's putting in. But it will make it look appealing to the eye because it's going to be straight across the same line as the house.
All
Right.
right.
He's not moving it he's not moving it in front of the house. He's moving it in line with the house, which is well. Let's hear from some of the neighbors to make sure that the abutters, sorry, abutters, to see what they
Oh,
think.
Mike,
also.
good to see you.
And I just had a second question about, was there a plan that was just filed today? Is there any issue that, we gave notice of the public hearing and people could go and look at his plans, and now he's may have filed a revised plan today so it's 1 story, not a 2 story. Is that an issue? I mean,
It actually makes it more appealing, I believe, that it's a 1 story than a 2, because anybody that might be here to speak against it may. So that's one of the things we'll find out. But that's a very good question.
do we have the plan?
Yes, we have the new plan.
Revised plan?
Yes, she sent those out earlier today, and they are part of the public record.
Can't hear you, John.
What?
I can't hear you.
What, see, I hear him fine. So he asked if it was, and John says, yes, Kobe sent the plans out today at 11:55. But the ones I opened, it has the picture of the one at 50 feet, the 40 feet, not the, it has that.
Through the chair, would it help if I showed the plan on the screen?
That would be very helpful. Yeah, this is 40 feet that I see. The one today is 40 feet.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, my plan does not align with this. There's a lot of dimensions that are different. He's got this plan shows 22'9" off the sideline from the front corner proposed. I have a plan that shows 25'1". And then once again, the setback from the street, the proposed is 50'1", and his is 40'6". Then the breezeway, the length of it, I have showing 14.25, and his is showing 16 feet even. So I wasn't updated with the plan, but.
Okay. Well, what are your opinions on that? Looking at this? How do you feel?
So the side yard is a 25-foot setback. So it looks like he's proposing on this plan 22'9". So I think he would need side relief and front relief, if I'm looking at it correctly.
Okay.
I think that's in the request.
Yeah, the other plan that I had just showed front relief, but I want to make sure that my paperwork. How many? Let me just double check something.
Thank you.
On this one I'm looking at, he does have a request for side relief of 2 feet 1 inch. Is that correct?
Yes.
He is asking. That is on the plan that I got today.
Yes, and that coincides with the table dimension relief that I have. It's just this is the updated.
Oh, so good. So the drawings. So the table was right, but the drawing was wrong.
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay, good. Now they match up.
So the application's correct, which is good,
Okay.
and this drawing matches the application.
Great. Okay. That's
Thank you.
Okay. Jim, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Well, it's relatively simple once we have the correlating plans that match up.
Great.
It is in your email from Kobe today, as an FYI.
Dan, chime in here. We need the builder's point of view.
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. I think it looks good. If the neighbors are good with it, I feel good about it.
Well, we're going to find out from the neighbors in a minute.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah. No, it feels reasonable. You know.
Okay, excellent. Any other questions before I ask for public input? Okay, are there any members of the public that would like to enter and sign in, please? Okay. All right, so it doesn't look like there are that there's anybody that objected to this two-story one that was there before. And I'm sure they're probably happier with even the one. So okay, all right. So if we have no more questions for the applicant,
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
do I have a second?
Second.
Excellent, thank you, Dan. All right, so we have a motion and a second to close public hearing. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. How do you vote, Michael?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
And I vote in the affirmative also. Okay, so we close the public hearing. All right, any discussion among us? Or does anybody want to make a motion? I don't have one prepared. Otherwise,
Mr. Chair, I think I could make a motion.
thank you. All right. Oh, good. We have three lawyers on this panel. I'm glad that this will be a good one.
I move to find that the proposed addition would not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing nonconformity and will be in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the bylaw and grant let's try to read my own.
I believe it's 10 feet in the front.
Of this on the side setback requirement. Oh, wait a minute. 2.1 feet on the side relief on the sides setback and 10 feet on the setback from the street of relief from the street line setback requirement, and with the condition that the applicant records the plan with the registry of deeds that shows the property line as depicted on the plan that was submitted today, and the addition be constructed as depicted on that plan.
Would you accept a friendly amendment to make the side setback 3 feet? Just because sometimes the 2 feet 1 inch might be a little bit tough for inspectional services to measure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Excellent. Okay, so we have 10 feet and 3 feet. Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Oh, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. How do you vote, Michael?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
And I vote in the affirmative also. Okay, Roy, you're all set. There's some paperwork and stuff that you got to do with inspectional services, and then you got to go to town hall and all that baloney. 20 days, et cetera, et cetera.
So there's an appeal period. Once they get everything written up, because then from that point, there's a 20-day appeal period. So
be nice to your neighbors for 20 days through Christmas.
Absolutely.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Roy. Thanks. Hey, God bless. Have a great one. Be safe.
Thanks, everyone, for the consideration.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one. Oh, shoot. I wrote on the wrong page. Okay. The Hopton Board of Appeals.
John.
Yes.
Before we leave this one,
Yes.
why can anybody explain to me why on the fees we have only $400?
That's beyond my pay
There's
grade.
one for 250 here on this on the amended one, Michael. I'm looking at it. There's 250 for the side setback,
Right.
plus the 400. But then it said fees required 400. So
Yeah, because it's only the highest fee, but why not the 500? Because they were getting a special permit for the front setback, right?
That's above my pay grade, you guys.
Okay, I was just
they
wondering.
applied as a special permit, yeah. But they
Yeah,
have
all
it
of
in
the
as
special-
400.
That's Mike's group.
Well, no, that's side and rear setback. The 250. And then it was a non-conforming lot, so that's 400. And then all other special permits are 500. And then you take the highest.
You want us to add it onto the building permit?
Excuse me?
You want us to add it onto the building permit?
No, I was just wondering why that was.
I could find
Why that
out
was
from one of
so.
the admin.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
just wondering.
Okay. All righty. Let's move on to the next one. The Hopkinton Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, December 11, 2024 at 7 p.m. to hear all persons interested in the application for a special permit and or variance filed by David Holborn, 24 Woody Island Road, Hopkinton, Mass. The applicant seeks relief from the zoning bylaws for additions to an existing non-conforming dwelling at 24 Woody Island Road that does not meet the minimum setback requirements. The property is shown in Assessors Map L36, Block 18, Lot 0. The hearing will be held remotely using the Zoom meeting service. For additional information, please email the ZBA at hopkintonma.gov, call the Department of Land Use Planning and Permitting at 508-497-9745, or check the online meeting calendar and agenda for this meeting at hopkintonma.gov. This legal notice is also posted in the Massachusetts Newspapers Publishers Association MMPA website at masspublicnotices.org. John Catino, Chair and Clerk, regarding 25-011. Okay. David, what do you got for us?
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got the council. Excellent.
Jack Nealon.
Hey, Jack, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Jack, one second.
Sure.
Sorry. Just point of just a little procedure here. So Michael, Michael, Jim. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and we got Mike. So we've got a full board of permanents. So
Yep.
So Dan, you're out on this one, and we got Mike on this one.
So it should be John Catino, Arnold, Mike Riley, James, and Mike Damasio.
Okay, so we got 2 Mikes, a Jim and Arnold, and a John. Okay, excellent. I just wanted to and then we got Sean and Dan in the hole. They're on deck. Okay, beautiful.
Well, they can ask all the questions and everything.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I just want to know who's voting. Okay, sorry. Thanks for your patience with this.
No problem at
Please
all.
continue.
Sure. So good evening, everybody. My name's Jack Nealon with Nealon & Click here at 85 Main Street, Hopkinton. And I am in front of you tonight on behalf of the applicant, David Holborn. So we're here tonight to ask the board's consideration in granting the applicant relief on a project that has been going on now for 3 years. I don't want to waste anybody's valuable time, but I do think for this particular application, some history would be important to give all the members a timeline of this property as it relates to the special permit in front of you tonight. And I will be brief. So 2018, Mr. Holborn purchased the property to live in a 1970s outdated ranch with his children. Due to a growing family and the deteriorating condition of the home, Mr. Holborn engaged in a contractor to put on a second floor to allow the family to kind of grow in place within the home. On June 30th, 2022, this board, the members then, voted unanimously to grant the owner a special permit for additions to the single-family ranch, which included a second-story addition, an addition near the garage for front entry, and an extension of the existing deck. So construction began back in November of 2022, which, like any project of a 1970s home does, immediately led to the discovery of some structural issues, which caused some foundation repairs and delays until about March of 2023, when they could finally move forward with the framing of the house for the new addition. Once the home was fully gutted and reframed in fall of 2022, it was about a month and a half later that one of the framed walls collapsed due to some insufficient workmanship and resulting in the firing and rehiring of a new framing crew. The second framing crew, at the direction of the general contractor, completed their work in about June of this year, 2024. And unfortunately, due to the framing company's deviation from the approved June 22 plan approved by this board, Michael Savard, the zoning enforcement officer, noticed that the building as it was built was not as the plan depicted when originally approved. So because of that, the zoning enforcement officer sent a letter to the general contractor at the time, letting him know of this substantial deviation, which is completely true, which resulted in August 20th, 2024 of a stop work order on the property. After 2 years of over and underlying issues with this contractor, it wasn't until October that David realized that this contractor was not going to meet with the building commissioner and Mike Savard to discuss these issues and how to kind of get the project back on the rails, which David did in October. He walked the property with Mr. Savard and the building commissioner to discuss a path forward, at which time our office became involved to draft this application. Since October, the applicant's hired a new contractor to finish the project. He also, at the recommendation of the building department, had an as-built plan created to show the project as it is built today, which has been stamped and drafted by an architectural engineer who's on the call tonight to answer any questions. Also, at the time, the old general contractor left the property. It was a complete mess. So the applicant has taken full control and has cleaned up all the debris, dumpsters, gotten rid of all the trash off the site. Currently, and unfortunately, the site is an exposed frame with sheathing with about 80% of the windows installed, but quite far from weather tight. So given the delays of the project, the applicant and his family have been renting for the past several years. And we're before the board tonight to get this project completely back on the rails. We're happy to review the plan as updated. And the real change from the approval in June of 22 to now really deals with this right side of the house, which was a proposed deck and then kind of a 3-season porch. That has actually now been framed as a continuation of a first floor and a second floor. So on the first floor, there is an additional finished space of 7 feet by 6 feet, resulting in 45.5 square foot addition. And on the second floor, it's the width of the house, 25 feet by 6.5 feet, resulting in a 162.5 square foot addition. So it's about a 208 square foot difference of finished space. The roof height is the only thing that's increased. The footprint of the home and the dimensional layout of the house has not changed at all as it relates to zoning. It's really just the height now on the farthest right side of the house matches the rest of the house. At my, non-architectural arithmetic gets it to about a 30-foot height, which they're allowed 40 feet in that Lake District. So there's no issue there. But there's no debate that what was approved in June of 2022 is not what was built. The framers, they just blew out the deck. There's now no deck and it's finished space on that far side of the house. So the relief being asked for tonight is to allow the new plan, as the as-built will display, to be approved by the board. Again, there's no further nonconformity towards the roadway or any abutting neighbors. It's just what was done on the footprint of what was approved was not what was depicted in the original plan. So that is what we're here for tonight. The new builder, Doug Graciano, is in attendance. as well as Kleber Saba, who's the engineer. And the homeowners, Doug and his partner Eric, are also available to answer any questions or, whatever they can do to kind of get this project back up and running.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That was a great explanation. Really appreciate it. Because we needed to know what actually happened, because it was a lot different. And for me, that knowing that the nonconformities didn't increase, but they just didn't go by the plan is something that I needed to know. That's what I needed explained. Okay. Mike, can you give us the inspectional services take on it?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So as Mr. Nealon explained, I did a routine site visit over there. I actually wasn't requested to go out there. I went out there because I noticed the last time I was in the neighborhood that there was a lot of disorder on the property. And I just wanted to kind of investigate and see what was going on. And we started looking at the plans, and me being new to that specific site, we noticed that the right side of the house, the footprint didn't change so much, but they enclosed space that wasn't depicted on the special permit. And we obviously have to adhere to what the board grants. So that's when we drafted the letter. We were trying to meet the contractor out there. He was unattentive, so we contacted the homeowner and we sent the letter. Homeowner, Mr. Holborn, and they were great. They met out on the site with us, with Mr. McWhite and I, and we figured the best thing to do would be to send them back to this board so they could explain, what happened, and that they didn't go outside the footprint, but they basically enclosed space that wasn't on the original plan on the first and the second floor. So I thought bringing them back here so they could tell their piece would be appropriate. And also, we did notice that they had structural issues, and they definitely had issues with the previous framers, and we discussed that, and they've been very cooperative. We sent the letter and we put the stop work order. So we suggested from the building department that they would clean up the site, get it safe, because they were kind of in the interim with different CSL holders, and they had bad experiences. So we wanted to make sure the site was stable, it was safe, and they're at a point now where they're in, basically the middle of the winter, and they're in a tough spot. They're vulnerable to the weather and so forth. So that's about all I can say for this.
Well, Mike, thanks for the due diligence. Really appreciate it. Okay. Any members of the board that have any questions for either Mr. Nealon or Mike?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Arnold.
All right, I have a question for Mike. So Mike, you described the first floor where it was supposed to be like maybe a porch, and they changed it into, enclosed it like an additional room to the house. But what was what happened on the second floor? How did they go beyond what the original approval was on the second floor?
Mr. Cohen, the first floor was, like Mr. Nealon said, it was a 6x7 extension porch, and it had a shed roof on it. And they basically finished that space, and then they went up and they continued the house out. There was another portion that bumped out, so they made it basically a straight side. So they finished 25 by 6.5, but only the 7x6 portion on the second floor was the extra finished space. So they essentially finished 7x6, 2 stories, instead of putting the roof on and keeping it at 1 story.
Okay, so the area that was this patio is 2 stories now instead of being 1 story?
Well, not patio, porch.
It wasn't patio.
Yeah, porch.
I'm happy to share the plan of the originally approved plan, as well as what is built now, if that would be helpful to the members.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. Thank you so much.
Let me just.
Then we can see what Mike's actually talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Sharing is not turned on. I'm just going to send a request, Mr. Gilsich, if you would. All right. I think I'm in.
You should be all set now.
All right. Thank you. right, can everybody see my screen here?
Yep.
All right, so this is the plan you'll see up here, 9/13/21. This was the plan that was approved by this board in 2022. Let me just get a good front image. So if you look here, you'll see this was what was approved. It was a small deck leading up to this. I think it was proposed a 4-season room. So,
Yep.
So if everybody has that grasp, I'm going to switch over to the as-built, if that's okay. So on the as-built plan, what exists today is instead of a deck, they now have this extension of this first floor here. And on the second floor, you can see it's the master bedroom and a fraction of a closet. That is what was built up. And I can show.
Can you show an elevation? That'd be great.
Yes. Not sure if it's going to show the exact elevation, but let me see if I can show kind of the structural. One more. Oh, no.
Yeah, there it is.
So this is kind of it in the forefront of what it looked like. So it was originally supposed to kind of just be a 4-season room here. They ended up framing the entire, not quite, it's equal to the height of the 30 feet of the rest of the structure, but they basically just boxed it in. Let's see if I can get one more view for everybody.
There it is.
Yeah, so here you can see it here. So it was really supposed to be about half of this on the first floor. Second floor was not approved. And that's what the applicants are asking for. I mean, this is what is built now. So they're looking to receive relief from the board on this second floor and really just this half of the first floor, as this back part was already approved.
Okay.
Happy to leave the plan up if people have specific questions.
All right. So the applicant's position is that he didn't realize that they were putting up an extra story on the.
Yeah, second set of framers. I'd say almost complete breakdown with the current general contractor. The whole thing's pending litigation, and he wasn't willing to stop and review the plan or explain the plan to the subs. And by the time Mr. Holborn was able to kind of understand what was going on, he had a letter in his mailbox from Mr. Savard.
Anybody else? Jim? Mike? Michael?
No. Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Sure.
Do we have what was approved back in 22 or 21? It was proposed in 21, but approved in 22.
Yeah, I was on the board then. Yeah, so that's it right there. Mike, I think Mike Tomasio, you were on the board then too.
Yeah. Do we have a copy of what was actually approved?
This is the approved plan. It's recorded with the special permit. This is the site plan. This kind of shows.
Was there a fire? Mr. Holborn or Ms. Nealon, was there a fire in this one? In this house?
No, there wasn't. This was not the house. Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yes. This is still we have so many from the lake area, and then Woody Island is even a more special area of the lake area. Yes, okay. Everything you guys do, you sneeze, you're coming for this board. Yes,
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Not to defend the applicant, but one thing that I will say is we noticed that he did go off the print on a few other occasions, but that wouldn't affect the zoning. The way that he built some of the structure was just kind of wacky, I would say, and off the plan. And this gentleman is going to have to rebuild some of the things to satisfy the code. So it doesn't surprise me that they went off the plan and went off the footprint, if that helps any.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, and that's what this is where we need, builders to come in. And I know, Mike, you've been a builder a long time. We got Dan and myself, and we know what can happen. And yeah.
And when I got to the property, there was definitely because I had circled that place a few times, keep my eye on it. And there was definitely a major disconnect with the CSL holder. Because if anybody drove up to that site and saw the condition, I mean, there was building materials littered all over the place. So the CSL holder did not have a grasp on that job at all. And he was uncooperative with us.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. Okay. Sean, do you have anything else?
Yeah, and so as I understand it, Mr. Nealon, your clients weren't residing at the property during this construction. Is that correct?
No, they have been renting since the beginning back in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the house in the middle. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Everybody knows the house in the middle.
Get their bearings. Yeah, it's this property here, and then they actually also have dock rights over here, some land.
Mike, you have anything?
Yeah.
Michael? Dan?
No, I have lived through, Mr. and Miss Olburn, I have lived through contractors not doing what they're supposed to or having to call out. I haven't lived anywhere near the situation you face with having to fire them and get rid of them, but I do have a lot of empathy for you when you're dealing with this type of people who just rip you off and do what they want to do. To me, it's no surprise. If you see them building it, it's one thing, but not knowing, I also think that it's, if it's within the footprint in which you asked for, I don't see the harm. I do say, well, aren't you going to want a porch at some point? But, you know, that may be for another day. But I do sympathize with your plight. Unfortunately, all of us have felt sometimes with the contractors, the burn of it, not like you have. So hang in there. You'll get in there. It took us 10 months to get into our house, back into our house. So that's nothing compared to what you guys had. But we were in a mobile home. So good luck with it.
But Michael, to that point of a porch, you know, they can put an egress on there. They can't put a porch, but they can put an egress without coming to us, because you are allowed to go into the setback if you want to put an extra egress. So
absolutely.
Yes, and being a builder, I have fired a lot of framers and stuff, but then being the CSL that Mike is, being a CSL, you know, when the way that Mike was just talking, yes, it is very scary when the building inspector really holds the CSL accountable, but we have to. And you know, and as a CSL, we have to make sure that we hire framers that do build by print, but there are so many of them that think that they know better. And being a homeowner that you just put your trust into the contractor, it's a shame. But yeah, so it's funny when I first saw this, I sorry to ramble on, but when I first saw this, I was saying to myself, how do they not know that he was doing it wrong? They're living there. But now that I understand that you weren't living there, because that's one of the discussions I had with myself earlier. It's like they didn't see that the guys were doing it wrong, but I get it. But you know, being a builder, I would see that stuff is being done wrong. But yeah, and I'm really glad that you know, Inspectional Services did go out there and notice some of this stuff, because you know, lots of people believe that pulling permits is burdensome and such, but in reality, it's you know, especially for you guys, it's one of the things that's going to give you a home that's going to be safe to live in, safe to insure, and safe to raise your children in. And we're just lucky to have people like Mike that just you know, do the due diligence and go out and notice stuff that's just not right. And Mike, really thank you. But I'm sorry now, but you're here with us, but hopefully this can be resolved in everybody's best interest. So I'm sorry I rambled on. Jim, do you have anything, or anybody else have anything?
No, I was in the same situation. I rented for a couple of years. My house was just built. You know, I can't read any plans, so I can totally understand how things could go awry when you're trusting somebody you're paying, and you would think that they know what they're doing, and they don't. So I totally understand.
And Mr. Damasio, you've always got some good stuff. What do you got for us? Mike?
I have no questions. Sorry, I had to turn on my
Wow.
microphone.
Especially at the lake. You're really good with us. You really always help me out here. Okay.
Seems pretty straightforward.
Excellent. Okay, so if there's no objection, I'd like to open it up to the public. Okay, with the board. Okay, are there any members of the public that would like to speak on this application?
Yes, sir, I am. I'm Eric Bloom. I live at 23 Woody Island Road. So I'm directly across. We look out our house directly to David's house in the middle.
I think that everybody in Woody Island does.
Everybody looks
at David's house. Yes. That's very true. I'll say that I am, in 100% support of an agreement with David being able to move forward. And to my knowledge is that everyone else here is also. I've heard nothing that would be against what would be moving forward this. I'll say to myself, I know the property very well. Not only do I look at it, but I work from home and, between meetings, I'll get a little fresh air, and I've probably walked around David's house 1,000 times in the last 3 years. So I'm very familiar with it. It looks great. But again, I know of no one who wants anything except for David to be able to move forward and finish with it as is.
That's great. Are there any more members of the public? Okay. Hearing none. Oh, do we have one?
Same, thanks. We love him.
No, okay. Excellent. And then
you're not in support of it, though. No, just kidding.
Yeah, and that's the important part, because we have to make sure that we all work together in this stuff, and especially like I said before with our inspectional services, just getting out there and making sure that it's done right. And it's a pain in the neck to come and see us. You had to hire Neil and Click to come in and explain it to us. But in the long run, hopefully everything's going to be everything will be built correctly.
Anybody else from the public?
All right, make a motion.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
And we got multiple seconds. Okay, so we got Mike and Jim. Who's after the seconds? All right. So we get a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion to close the public hearing? Hearing none. I'll go in order. Michael?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
And I will vote in the affirmative also. Okay, so the public hearing is closed. Any discussion? And for anybody, or just anybody want to make a motion? Anybody
I
ready
would
with the
like
motion?
this little discussion first.
Yes.
I fully understand. I think, again, a lot of times with the lake, they're having 45,000 square feet. The situation where you're in, where you're in the middle, it's a good sized house, so your family can really expand. But I really think we need the community support, and we got the community support. One thing I do know about the lake folks, being one myself, if they were opposed to it, they would have been lined up and you would have had a lot of hearings. So, and then there's a reason to go to code to have bourbons afterwards. So that being said, it didn't happen. So, and then Eric is in support, and I agree. If there was people opposed to it, we would know about it. The design looks excellent, and I fully support this project. And good luck moving forward.
Thank you. We're incredibly appreciative of what everybody's done here. So yeah.
Yeah, and again, as a builder, it's just but that's just hard for me. Is there are so many builders out there that give us a bad name, and and it's just and again, it's like people like Mike that are out there just protecting you guys. That and some people would look at inspectional services as a burden, but in this case, it's with making sure that it's really done right, and it's great. It really is.
Well, he's following in Mr. Shepherd's footsteps, and Mr. Shepherd saved my me from our builders, and now he's following in the path. So he's got big shoes to fill, but he's doing a great job.
Yeah,
And it
Mr.
is for our protection. Mr. Shepherd made sure our house was built the way it's supposed to, even though the builders wanted to make shortcuts. And now Mike's doing the same. So.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. That's what we need in inspectional services is also that level of compassion. So he's absolutely looking out for the homeowners, and that's one of the things we need. We're a small town. We're getting bigger, but we still need that small town feel. And really, it's great to know that we have people like that in town hall. Alrighty, so if there's no other questions. Does anybody have a motion? I have nothing in front of me. I'm totally unprepared for this one. I totally apologize. I had meetings all day today in Boston. So, I'll ad hoc one, but okay.
In front of me. I got to get it in front of me.
Isn't this,
Arnold?
yes.
You want to redo the first one and just apply it to this one?
No, I mean, this is a different situation than.
No, I meant, but it's a special permit, isn't it?
This is yes.
Yeah, so what are we,
Okay.
what were we granting them? What specific?
So I vote to grant the special permit, noting that it is the proposed changes to the as-built are not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing nonconformity. And it will be in harmony with the general purpose and intents of the zoning bylaw. And shall be constructed substantially as depicted on the latest plans. Okay. So it's up to the Holborns and Mr. Nealon and Mike, please, if you could just give them a little extra assistance to make sure that who's ever continuing to work on this structure does it to the plans. Is that good enough for everyone? Could I get a second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mike. All right. So we have motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion or any friendly amendments? Hearing none. Michael, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mike Damasio.
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
And I vote in the affirmative also. Hey, good luck. Good luck, you guys. Dave, it's please, I hope that the rest of it goes better, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday. You've been through a lot, and again, Mike, I know I've been raining praises upon you, but you really came through here for these people, and you really came through for the town and everything. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Completely agree with that.
Excellent.
Just a really good point of order for the Holborns. Are they able to weather tight the house up in after this 3 inches of rain and to avoid any further damage? I know there's a stop work order, but would this decision lift that, or do they have to wait for the appeal period? And
I would suggest that we can speak tomorrow. We can have a conversation and figure out how we're going to move forward.
Okay.
Excellent. Great question.
Thank you.
Question. Yeah, and it's a part of the record. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to the agenda. On the agenda, which I have open next to this.
Thank you, folks.
Good luck. Thank you. God bless. Thank you so much. Okay, so we've got board reorganization. Oh, shoot. Okay.
Nominate John for chair.
Second nomination.
There are no other nominations? We guys talking about wasn't there? Okay, and so we get a lot of seconds. Okay, so actually, Mr. Riley, I think you're supposed to be running this part of it then in this case.
All right, so I nominate John for chair. We got a second. How do you vote, Mike?
Yes.
Any discussion on the motion? Yes, it's a yes. I don't think Sean.
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
missing anybody? Myself is a yes. And John? You can
Yes.
abstain if you want. Yes, all right. So it carries. Welcome to another 10 years.
Okay, then I'm going to nominate you for vice chair then. And I nominate Michael Riley for vice chair.
Second.
Second, yeah.
Okay, any other nominations? Hearing none. Mr. Damasio,
Yes.
Mr. Masterson,
Yes.
Mr. Cohen,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
and I vote in the affirmative also. It's unanimous.
I
Okay.
think I won't get even with you guys.
Okay, and this clerk, anybody else want to be clerk? All right, I can't nominate myself. But
I nominate John
I've been doing it for
Catino.
3 years. What the heck?
You're doing a great job. Why stop now?
Oh boy!
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay.
All those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Arnold?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
I also am a yes.
And I'm a yes too. Okay. All right, we got that out of the way. All right, we're reorganized. What else do we got? Minutes?
I don't think we have minutes.
Through the
That
chair,
wasn't on the
the
agenda.
zoning advisory committee rep.
Yeah.
Zoning advisory. Okay, so who's on the zoning advisory committee right now? I did it for 14 years. I'm done. I was chair for 12 of it.
So, I'm on it. If somebody else is interested in doing it, that's okay. You know,
Anybody else interested?
but I'll stay on if.
Do you mind doing it?
No.
That'd be great. I nominate Arnold.
Yeah, I don't know if
Second.
people know what it is. You know what it is, but
Oh, I know what it is. I
John would know what it is. But.
I was the chair. I was the chair and the representative for 6. Yeah, and then I did it again. No. That's too many meetings.
But-
Okay.
right.
So a motion and a second. Any other nominations? Hearing none. Jim,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Damasio.
Yes.
Okay. Dan,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Arnold,
Abstain.
and I vote in the affirmative. Okay, so we've got unanimous except for one abstention. Excellent. Okay, Arnold, thank you very much for doing it. Really appreciate it. Okay. Anything else on the agenda?
I think our next meeting is in first week of January. I'm not sure, but I think it's the first week of January.
January 8th, I think she just said we have one thing.
Yeah.
John, I have a question for you.
Yes.
ADU, the new law. I just did a seminar today, so I learned a little bit about it. Are we going to discuss that, or is it a Zach thing, or is it a different committee going to handle that?
It'll probably be a Zach thing to bring it to Zach. Actually, John, you might.
Yeah, through the chair, I can kind of go through the process. So it's before Zach right now. We don't really have to do anything. It's not like the MBTA communities bylaw where if we don't adopt something, we're going to be in trouble. The state law is going to supersede our law. We're just going to try and amend our law to match that so that there's less confusion.
Oh, great.
And then there's also some other additional provisions local municipalities can do that the state doesn't regulate. But we already do that kind of stuff. So
yeah, we've done that before when I was on the planning board. Yeah. Okay.
So it's before Zach. We hope to get it before town meeting in May, just to be the same as what the state is putting out in February.
And John, when the meeting closes, can you just stay on for a quick second? I have a question to ask you about, not related to this board, but previous discussion.
Me and John or John Catino?
Why don't we call?
John, Gelsick.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to say, okay, so motion to close.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the motion to close? Hearing none. Jim?
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and sorry, Mike and Mike. Okay, yes, sorry, Michael. All right, and I vote in the affirmative also. The meeting is adjourned. Guys, everybody, thank you so much, really, for coming. Hey, everybody have a happy holiday. Really
Happy
appreciate
holiday, guys.
it in January. Thanks, really, thanks for hanging in, everybody. It's some of these can be kind of touchy feely. Some of these can be tough. Going back to the gas station, everybody hung in there. Really appreciate it, and it all worked out the way it was supposed to, I guess. And so really thanks again. Thanks for staying on this board. Arnold, thanks for stepping up and doing Zach. Really appreciate everybody pulling it for me. It's like Michael was saying, we're a community and we have to have some empathy and sympathy, but we also have to work through the law. Hey, God bless everyone. Have a great week, and thanks again.
Thanks, John.